we have fx is equal to sine inverse log x by 3. You know what is the inverse function? Inverse trigonometric function. This is just an introduction to,
Yes,
you know,
10 to the power of minus 1 is written. No.
yes, tan, it's called tan inverse. So suppose if x is equal to tan theta, okay, then we say that theta is equal to tan inverse x. For the time being, this is something that you can know. Later on in class 12, we'll be discussing in detail these inverse circular functions. This is called an inverse circular function, tan inverse x. Okay, so suppose if we have uh, theta, say we have x is equal to sine theta, then we write theta is equal to sine inverse x. Okay, this is also called as arc sine or sine inverse. Arc sine or sine inverse. Okay, suppose you have x is equal to cos theta, then you must have theta is equal to
So
cos
I
inverse
want
x.
to that 1 by sin x.
Sorry, no, you cannot write. Sine inverse x is not the same as 1 by sine x. Okay, so the important point here is no. Important here is that you cannot have sine inverse x is not the same as 1 by sine x, because sine 1 by sine x is sine x whole to the power of minus 1. Okay, and we write it differently. We don't give a bracket and write minus 1. See that we are writing simply minus 1 with sine. Okay, so this is different from this. Understood? So also what we must say, if we have x is equal to cosec theta, then we write theta is equal to cosec inverse x. If we have x is equal to sec theta, then we have theta is equal to sec inverse x. And say if we have theta x is equal to cot theta, then we write theta is equal
Will
to,
be any
yes,
So will there be any changes in the value of sin theta and sin inverse x?
sine theta and sine inverse x. I cannot get you. What is your question?
Like sin 30 is equal to
Hmm,
1 by 2.
hmm, hmm.
Then sin inverse 30 will be also equal to 1 by 2.
Yes. Suppose if you have sine 30 equal to half, okay, then you can safely say that 30 degree is equal to sine inverse of half. Okay, you can
Okay,
safely say
okay.
this. Okay, so what you see here is, well, the important point that you must see here is that all this theta is equal to tan inverse x, or when we write theta is equal to sine inverse x, theta here is an angle. So whenever we are talking
Yes,
about
sir.
inverse circular functions or inverse trigonometric functions, we always talk about angles. So if I say sine inverse x, cos inverse x, tan inverse x, the cosec inverse x, sec inverse x, and finally you have cot inverse x. All these are angles. These are all angles. Okay, sine inverse x is an angle, cos inverse x is an angle, and all these are angles. Okay, whereas sine x is the value of the angle. It is the value of the sine. Okay, you must remember this. So sine inverse, you must remember, is an angle. Cos inverse is an angle. Okay, now one very important point, especially in case of sine and cos, that you must know in order to solve this problem here, in order to find the domain, is recall from trigonometry that when x is equal to sine theta, then what is the values of sine theta? What can be the value? Which sine theta lies between which two values? So if we have x is equal to sine theta, then what is the range of values of x? Then we must have x lying between minus 1 and plus 1 only. Okay, maximum value of x, that is sine theta, can be minimum value can be minus 1, and the maximum value can be plus 1. That is, you can also write this as minus 1 less than or equal to sine theta less than or equal to 1. That means sine theta always lies between minus 1 and 1, always. So if I say sine theta is equal to 1.5, it is not possible. If I want to say sine theta is equal to minus 1.3, it is not possible. Okay, the value of sine must always lie between minus 1 and 1. So what can I say about this? So suppose if I have x is equal to sine theta and I write theta is equal to sine inverse x, then what happens? X must lie between minus 1 and 1. For this function to be valid, or for this function to be defined, we must have x lying between minus 1 and 1, isn't it? This value of x must lie between minus 1 and 1 for this function to be defined. So we will work with this only. Okay. So see, coming back to the problem here, we have fx is equal to log sine inverse of log x by 2. Now, as I said, that if you have sine inverse of something, then whatever it is, sine inverse of whatever, that means log x by 2 must lie between minus 1 and plus 1. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So if log x by 2 lies between minus 1 and plus 1, Devanjan, you are understanding?
Yes, sir, I'm following.
That means this inequality can be broken up into two inequalities, this and log x by 2 is less than or equal to 1. That means what can you write? 2 to the power of minus 1 is less than or equal to log x by 2, and log x by 2, not 2 to the power of minus 1, sorry, e to the power of minus 1. Because when if you I don't know if I have mentioned this to you, from now on, whenever we'll talk about logs, we'll be talking about natural logs with the base e. Whatever we did in class 9, those were called common log. I think I mentioned this to you in class 9. Those have
Yes,
the
sir. Base was 10 there.
base was 10. Here, whenever we are talking about logs, we'll consider natural logs only. Okay, natural log is also written as log x to the base e. Sometimes the base is not written. Most of the time, base is not written. If the base is not specified for you, you will take the base to be e. Or sometimes it is written as ln x also. Okay, so instead of writing log x to the base e, sometimes it is written as ln x. Okay, so coming back to this problem here, we have, since the base is not specified here, so we'll take the base to be e. So if log x by 2, if minus 1 is less than or equal to x by 2, then e to the power of minus 1 is less than or equal to log x by 2 from your knowledge of inequalities. And not log x by 2, sorry, this e to the power of minus 1 must be equal to x by 2. Okay, and here also x by 2 must be equal to e to the power of 1, must be equal to e to the power of 1. That means you have 1 by e less than or equal to x by 2, and x by 2 is less than or equal to e. That means 2 by e is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to, this is 2e, right? Oh, log the base is given as 2. Okay, okay, the base is given as 2 in the
Yeah,
question.
then we will change the
Okay.
base.
No need to change the base. You will work with 2, no problem. The base is here given as 2 to you. Log x by 2 to the base 2. It is my mistake. I took the base as e. So base, if the base is specified here. Okay. So if the base is specified, we'll write the base. So this becomes, instead of e to the power of minus 1, instead of this e, it becomes from the definition of log 2 to the power of minus 1 must be less than or equal to x by 2, and x by 2 must be less than or equal to 2 to the power of 1. So that means you have, instead of 1 by e, you must have half is less than or equal to x by 2, and here you have x by 2 is less than or equal to 2. Okay, and what else you have? So finally you can write this as 1 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 4. That means combining these two, you can write x lies between 1 and 4, right? You can write this
Yes, sir.
x lies between 1 and 2. Okay. Okay. So if x lies between 1 and 4, also what is the restriction on log? The restriction on log is that x by 3 here is x by, okay, I've taken x by 2, fine, no problem. Let me make it x by 2. Also the restriction is that x by 2 must be greater than 0, because log of any negative number or 0 number is not defined. Also x by 2 must be greater than 0. That means x must be greater than 0. So now let's come to the number line. What are the two restrictions we are working on? So we have x greater than 0 and 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. Number line. You have 0,
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And you have minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Now see, x is greater than 0. That means from here, x is greater than 0, right? What is the next restriction? That x lies between 1 and 4. So you have 1 here and you have 4 here. So what is the common region? This is the common region, right? Of the two, satisfying both the inequalities. Hence, what is the domain set? Hence, domain of f must be equal to 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. In terms of intervals, if you want to write, you write it as a closed interval, 1, 4. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Gupta. So third one. So we have fx is equal to log x plus 3 to the base 2 divided by x square plus 3x plus 2. You need to find out the domain of this. So what are the restrictions? First of all, the first restriction is we must have denominator non-zero, right? So we must have x square plus 3x plus 2 is not equal to 0. That means we must have factorize this. X square plus 2x plus x plus 2 is not equal to 0. That means we must have x plus 2 into x plus 1 is not equal to 0. That means x cannot be equal to minus 2, and also x cannot be equal to minus 1, right? Both the conditions have to be satisfied. So x cannot take these two values. Minus 2 it cannot take, and minus 1 it cannot take. That means if you are constructing your mapping here, so minus 2, if you have minus 2 will not have any image in the codomain set. Similarly, minus 1 cannot have any image in the domain set. Okay, so what you do is you exclude minus 2 and minus 1. Okay, so x cannot be equal to minus 2, x cannot be equal to minus 1. Next, what is the next restriction? See, the base of the log is 2, so no problem. We can work with the base 2. The next restriction is that what the log of whatever number we are taking, that must be greater than 0, right? That means x must be greater than minus 3. So these two are the restrictions, and these two are the only restrictions, and there are no other restrictions. So what should be? Let us try to see it on the number line. What happens? First restriction is that x cannot be equal to -2. So -2 it cannot take. Sorry, given it as +2. So it cannot take this value. Okay, it cannot take this value. Next value it cannot take is -1. So even -1 it cannot take. Next, x must be greater than -3. So if x is greater than -3, and here is your -3, put a curved line because it cannot be equal to -3. And if it is greater, then it will take all these values. So what is your what is your domain set? What is the common region here? What is the common region? Common region is -3 to +∞, isn't it? And what are the values that it cannot take? It cannot take -2 and it cannot take -1.
-1.
That's it. This is the domain set. This is the common region of the two restrictions. This restriction here and this restriction here. Clear with this, Debanjan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And why such an elongated? Yes.
No, sir, it's okay.
Okay. And the last one for the domain set, I'll work out two more from the domain set and then I can move on to your range, and that will conclude this chapter. It is actually a very, what should I say? It is actually a very boring chapter, I must confess. Belongs to your domain of pure mathematics. Pure mathematics, not everyone can handle. So we have fx is equal to log to the base e, 2 plus x by 2 minus x. We need to find out the domain of this. Okay. Now, the only restriction here is that we must have whatever is within the log 2 plus x by 2 minus x, it must be positive, right? This is the only restriction. But 2 plus x by 2 minus x is a fraction, isn't it? So what can be the cases? When will a fraction be positive? When the numerator and denominator both are positive, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So this is case 1. Let's see what case 1 gives us. So 2 plus x greater than 0 means x is greater than -2, and 2 minus x is greater than 0 means 2 is greater than x. That means x is less than 2. Okay, so x is greater than -2 and x is less than 2. So thus x must lie between -2 and 2, right? X is greater than -2 and x is less than 2 means x must lie between 2 and 2, -2 and +2. The second case can be that when numerator and denominator both are negative. So when 2 plus x is less than 0 and 2 minus x is less than 0. So therefore 2 plus x less than 0 gives us what? X is less than -2. And 2 minus x less than 0 gives us what? It gives 2 is less than x. That means x is greater than 2. So what does this give us? X is less than -2 and x is greater than 2. Is it possible simultaneously that x can be less than -2 and x can be greater than +2? Is it possible? So this is absurd. That is, case 2 is rejected. You understood this, what I'm trying to say?
X will have only one value, so how can it be?
Suppose x is any particular number. Can any particular number be less than -2 and greater than +2? Is it possible?
No.
At the same time? It is not possible. So therefore, this case is absurd. So we cannot admit this case. So therefore, what should be a domain of f? Domain of f is equal to -2 less than or equal to x less than 2. That is, you can write this as -2, the closed interval, -2, 2. So that is the domain of f. Clear? So we'll work out two more problems from the domain. Find the domain of the following functions. So you have first is given to you as fx is equal to root over of 1 plus log 1 minus x to the base e. Okay, this is one. And this next question is fx is equal to 3 by 4 minus x square plus log x cube minus x to the base 10. First one, given fx is equal to root over of 1 plus log 1 minus x to the base e. Okay, so what is the first restriction? That anything under the root cannot be negative. So you must have 1 plus log 1 minus x to the base e must be positive. This is my first restriction. That means what can we say from this? What can we say about x from this? Log 1 minus x to the base e must be greater than minus 1. From the definition of log, we can say that 1 minus x is greater than e to the power of minus 1. That means 1 minus x must be greater than 1 by e. That means 1 minus 1 by e is greater than x. That means x must be less than 1 minus 1 by e. This is one. Also, what else is the restriction? That anything within the log cannot be negative. So we must have 1 minus x is to be positive also. That means x is that means we must have 1 is greater than x. That means x is less than 1. So there we have to work with two restrictions. First restriction here is that x is less than 1 minus 1 by e, and next restriction is x is less than 1. So now what you must note here is that e is an irrational number. Okay, e is an irrational number, remember, always, where e is equal to 2.73 approximately. Understood? You don't have the infinite series in your syllabus, that is your Maclaurin series and Taylor series. You don't have all that. Otherwise, e actually has an expansion, actually the series in which you have a infinite expansion of that series, and that series is convergent, and you can show that the approximate value of that series is 2.73. But anyway, we shall not get into all that. Remember always that the approximate value of e is 2.73. So therefore, what you must note here is that 1 minus 1 by e must approximately be 1 minus 1 by 2.73, which is 1 minus 100 by 273, right? Now 1 minus 100 by 273 is a number that is less than 1. So clearly 1 minus 1 by e is a number that is less than 1. Also x is less than 1, right? Also x is less than 1. That means what should be a domain of f? Domain of f should be what? Tell me. If x is less than 1 is one restriction, and you have a number that is less than 1, that means which interval satisfies it? So from minus infinity, if I am coming, minus infinity, less than x, less than 1 minus 1 by e. right? That is, you can also write this as minus infinity, comma 1 minus 1 by e. Is this problem clear?
Yes, sir.
So that is what the domain of this is. We now move on to the last one from this. That is fx is equal to 4 minus x square plus log x cube minus x to the base 10. Let's write the function. The function here is 3 by 4 minus x square plus log x cube minus x to the base 10. So what is the first constraint? The first constraint is that 4 minus x square cannot be equal to 0 for fx to be defined. So we must have 4 minus x square is not equal to 0. That means x square minus 4 cannot be equal to 0. That means if you factorize this, it will come to x plus 2 into x minus 2 cannot be equal to 0. That means what can we say? X is not equal to plus 2 and x is not equal to minus 2. So x cannot take the values plus 2 and minus 2. This is the first restriction. What is the next restriction? The next restriction is for the log, that the any log of the number should be a positive number, right? Whatever log of whatever you are taking, that should be positive. That means you must have x into x square minus 1 as positive. That means x into x plus 1 into x minus 1 must be positive. Now, if you remember from your quadratic inequalities, if you have this kind of an inequality where you have three factors, x plus or minus 0, x plus 1, and x minus 1, then what are the range of what are the values that x can take? X can take here the, see, you have an x here. That means it can come from 0 to minus 1, right? From 0 to x plus 1 is equal to 0 gives you minus 1. So it can come from 0 to minus 1 union, and from minus 1 it will move on to plus 1. So from minus 1 it will move on to plus 1, right? Isn't it? And from 1 it can move to infinity, but in between it cannot take any other values. Okay, I think there should be one more interval here. It should be minus infinity to 0. So this means that this should be minus infinity. From minus, it can take all the real values, negative real values, and it can come to 0, but it cannot be equal to 0. Also, it cannot be equal to 0 and then come till minus 1, because x plus 1 is equal to 0 will give you x is equal to minus 1. Again, from minus 1, it can move on to just very close to plus 1, because x minus 1 is equal to 0 will give you a plus 1. And then from 1, it can move on to infinity. So these are the acceptable values of x for your next restriction. So let us now see these in on the number line. Okay, what is the first restriction? That x cannot be equal to plus 2. So this is gone. X cannot be equal to minus 2. So this is also gone. Next is all these intervals. From minus infinity, it will come till 0. So it is coming till 0 here. All these values it can take except -2. And then from 0 to 1 it will go. So from 0, now it will go to -1. Okay. Remaining less than -1 or greater than -1. Okay. And then from -1, it can go to +1. Okay. And then from +1, it can move to, right here. From +1, it can move to infinity, but it cannot be equal to +2. So what is the common region that you are getting here? First, the common region that you are getting here is -1 to 0. So domain of f is equal to, first common region is -1 to 0, right? This is common to all, union. Next common region that you are getting is from 1 to 2, this one. From 1 to 2, this is another common region, but it cannot be equal to 2, neither can it be equal to 1. So 1, 2, open interval. And what is the next common region? From 2, here it can now move to infinity, always remaining less than 2. So union 2 to infinity. So this is your domain of f. Understood? So main thing here was to see which one is our common region. Okay, so domain is complete. Now how to find out the range? Now most of the questions, what they will do is they will ask you to find out the domain and range both. Okay, so let us consider just one problem to start with. Find the domain and range of the following functions. First function is y is equal to, or sometimes they can give you fx is equal to also, y is equal to x square by 1 plus x square. The next one is y is equal to root over of 3x square minus 4x plus 5. Third one is y is equal to log 3x square minus 4x plus 5. And the base of the log is specified to you here. Even if the base is not specified, you will take it as e. And fourth one is y is equal to 5 by 3 minus x square. Okay, let us just see the first one for today. All the other three I'll complete later. First one, given y is equal to x square by 1 plus x square. What can be a domain of this function? Are there any values of x which you cannot which will not give you a value of y? Tell me, inspect the function and tell me.
No, sir. Every value.
Every value of x will give you a value of y, whether negative, positive, or
Yes.
0. Okay, every value of
Yes.
x will give you a value of y. So what is the domain of y?
All real numbers.
Is equal to minus infinity to infinity. This is sometimes written as r. Okay.
Sir.
Now, what about the range? Now, in order to find the range, this is the technique that you will follow. First,
So
we'll
it will be
find out. Yes, tell me.
range will be natural numbers
How would you know?
because because if we put minus 1 minus number even we will get squared, then it will be ultimately it will be plus.
No, for domain, if you are putting negative or positive or zero values, you are getting an image, right? For every value of x, you are getting an image here, isn't it? For
Yes, sir.
if this is your x and this is your y, for every value of x, you are getting. We take this real numbers. For every real number, you are getting an image, right? In y, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But we shall now check the other way around, whether we are getting for each element of y, whether we are getting an pre-image here. Okay, in order to find out the range. So what we will do here is
Oh.
what we will do here is that we will first find x in terms of y. So we'll write y into 1 plus x square is equal to x square. That means y plus yx square is equal to x square. That means you take x on everything on you take x on one side, so you get yx square minus x square is equal to let's write it the other way around so that x is positive. So we'll write x square minus yx square is equal to y. So now you can take x square common, you get 1 minus y is equal to y. So that means you're getting x square is equal to y by 1 minus y. That means you're getting x is equal to square root of y by 1 minus y. Okay. That means what if x is equal to y by 1 minus y? What are the restrictions here? So we must have non-zero denominator. So 1 minus y cannot be equal to 0, right? That means y cannot be equal to 1. Also, whatever is within the square root, you must have that to be positive. So y by 1 minus y has to be greater than 0. In this case, what happens? Case 1, when numerator is positive and denominator is positive, then the fraction is positive. That is, y must be greater than 0 and 1 must be greater than y. That is, y must be greater than 0 and y must be less than 1. Okay, so this is one restriction. Is it possible, or can these two conditions be satisfied at the same time? Y less than 0 and y less than minus 1? Yes. If you combine these two conditions, then what will you get? Y is less than, oh, y is greater than 0. Okay. If y is greater than 0 and if y is less than 1, is it possible for any number to be greater than 0 and less than 1 at the same time? Yes, it is possible. When? When it will lie between 0 and 1.
0 and 1.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is possible. So case 2, when y is negative, numerator is negative and denominator is also negative. That is, you have y less than 0 and 1 less than y. That means y is less than 0 and y is greater than 1. So is it possible for a number to be less than 0 and greater than minus 1? It is not possible. So this case is absurd and is hence rejected. Right? So therefore, what are the two conditions that you are getting here? The first condition is that y not equal to 1. Let us see on the number line. Y is not equal to 1. So this value it cannot take. And also y lies between 0 and 1. That means 0 and 1. So what is the common region of the two? Hence, what is the range of f? What is the common region? This only, between 0 and 1, which we write as
Yes, sir.
an open interval 0, 1. Okay, so if you see here, it means what you see here is that the process of finding the range is exactly the same as process of finding the domain, except that we change everything in terms of y, and then we find out the domain. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So that is what I stop here for